Tim Goss. I fight out of Titan Fitness in State College, PA.
Goss with an incredible. Oh! You got taken down by Goss, fighting out of Team Titan Fitness.
Did we wrap this up
Goss
here?
has got a really tight guillotine choke in, Drew.
Whoa!
I've been training now for a little over a year. I have 4 fights so far. I'm 3-1. I started training I was kind of like on a rock bottom, more or less. I lost a job. I didn't have any money. I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend at the time, and I just was kind of like a slump. But I needed something to get me up and get me moving, and I got a hold of Tyler, the Daywalker Saltzman, and he helped me train, and he just beat on me for a while, and we ended up. I just kind of fell in love with it, really.
Kieran Narbar. Oh!
In the red corner, Ethan.
It's kind of hard trying to train full time. On a minimum, I work anywhere from 50 to 58 hours a week. And I actually had to work this morning before I came here, and I start at 4 o'clock in the morning. So all I normally do is it's work, gym, and go home to sleep. That's pretty much it for me. And I train 4 to 5 days out of the week. I won't take a fight anything less than that. And to really kind of push yourself with it takes a lot of heart, I would say, and it takes a lot of discipline to be able to have that drive to do it. It gets rough sometimes. You're constantly beat up. You're constantly sore. You're constantly aching. And but to me, it's all about chasing a dream.
It's 30 seconds left in the bout. Or the round, excuse me, not the bout.
Oh!
Ethan Goss with a flurry of.
He does not want to get tied up in a clinch. He's in deep, trying to fight for trouble. Oh, he tapped! We have a submission victory.
Your winner.
My name is Paul, the Lionheart Riggleman. Train out of Dignan Brumbaugh MMA. I've been training MMA since I'm 29 now, since I was about 25. Well, my mother hates it. And my mother just absolutely hates it. She came to my first fight in January, and oh my God, she was bawling. She come backstage. She said, "Oh my God, oh my God." I'm like, "Mom, I'm fine. Quit crying," And then the fighter, I still can't remember his name for some damn reason. Roman Swainer, that's his name. He's now 4-0. He's a different type of monster too. But anyhow, yeah. So I'm sitting backstage. My mom comes back, and she's crying and bawling. I got my son there. My son was at my first fight. He's high-fiving me. "Yeah, Daddy, you did good." And it was an amazing feeling. My dad, his name is Ron. He is passed away. He died in 2009. But he was all for it. He was a third-degree black belt, trained with Brian Gage Karate his entire life. So I grew up around karate my entire life. But I never was a fighter. I'm still not a fighter. I don't like violence. I don't like confrontation by any means. I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I'll never be disrespectful to you. I'll never be the one to throw the first punch, so to speak. Just a nice guy. I just want to be. It's a competition. It's a sport to me. That's what it is. It's not I'm a badass. I'm a tough guy. I walk around the street. I'm an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? No, it's not like that. I'm a very well-mannered man. I have a family. And that's like a lot of these professional guys. Charlie Gathers is the same way. He's a wonderful gentleman to be around. Doug Howe, excellent man. And that's the guys that I surround myself with. I surround myself with a good team. Fractured City Fight Gear. I got to throw a shout out to them because I'm a sponsored fighter. They've been wonderful to me. Team AMS, Hank Hansik, Jason the Whip Willett. I've been training with those guys. I've been putting in a great camp for this fight. He's really going to have his hands full. I do have 2 small children. My son is 5 years old. His name is Broden. I have a 4-year-old daughter, Marley. Absolutely beautiful children. I miss them so much. I could actually cry just thinking about them. My son's favorite song is Radioactive, and something about that song, it hits me in my heart, and it makes me really think about him, because I see him in the car and he's singing it, and he's 5. It's an amazing feeling. So I'm gonna come out to Radioactive for my son. It's gonna be my walkout music. So this fight's dedicated to my children. Rick, I don't know if you got any kids, man, but kids will make you do things you never thought you would do before. I have a different ambition. I am a different beast. I am a different monster than you've ever seen.
Hi, I'm Jenna Bobick, known to most as J. Ray Bobo. I actually am going to start this off with how my teammate Brad Mountain used to tell me. I'm a girl living in a man's world.
Resurrection of a liar's nation, desperation, annihilation, resurrection of a truthless program, the webs they weave on the chains to hold them.
I have an older brother. He's 25, and he always used to pick on me and bully me, and he did it for a reason. He did to teach me that I need to be able to protect myself. Him and his friends, they used to beat up on me because we were wrestling. I wrestled from probably about when I was 6 to like about 10 years old, maybe 10 years old. I can't really remember. I've always played boys sports because I always wanted to follow my brother, and I always wanted to be just like him. And when I started growing up, I was a tomboy, so I always got picked on by it, and not many people, it wasn't like bad picking on like most people got, but I started kind of feeling down about myself because still in high school I never dressed, I'm not a girly girl, I never dressed as a girly girl, I still don't.
Technological, apocalyptic anthem, ghosts in a machine of flesh and blood, a battle's cancer, broadcast to the millionaire clowns who disease my brothers, I'm coming up from the underground.
I really started fighting and training because when I was a freshman in high school, I went to a party and I was put in a corner and manhandled, and I didn't know how to defend myself, and I was kind of like, I shut off to everyone. I started getting really depressed. I started having a hard time at college. My family didn't know, and Mike Gentry from Genesis MMA, he actually knew me since I was in 7th grade, and he knew something was wrong, and he approached me on Facebook and messaged me, and he's like, you haven't been acting yourself. Are you all right? Like, what's going on? Are you okay in college? It was great to know that someone could see that. So him and my personal trainer, Kevin Snyder, started talking to me, and they told me, hey, why don't you try out MMA? You used to be a wrestler. You should be good at it. You can catch on to things. You're an athlete. So I was kind of afraid, like every other girl, I'm afraid to go into a gym full of guys. So I called up Ellen Coble, and I was like, Ellen, I want to start training, but I'm nervous. Can I get a private session with you before I go to Genesis? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he was there, and Corey Sheen was there, and they were helping me, and they were teaching me some things, and then I was finally like, okay, I'm all right to go in. I'm a person that gets down on myself a lot. I'm always down on myself, and I never realize like how good I am because I'm always training with guys. There's not a lot of girls around here that train, and even if they do, some of them are heavier than me and some of them are lighter than me. I never can find someone my weight. And so it's always hard. Like when I went to jiu-jitsu competitions, I've taken 2nd at NAGA North American Grappling Championships, and I took 3rd at NAGA BJJ Worlds. And it actually took a lot for me to actually sign up. Everyone sees the tough persona of me. I'm really not that tough. Sometimes when I'm alone, I'm really a girl and break down a lot. it's hard for me with training as a full-time student. I also have a job. I'm a coach for the USA Athletes International softball team. So I've been traveling 4 years with them to a few different countries. So I've been missing time training for that. So it's really why I've pushed off the fighting part. Haven't gotten a fight. I was supposed to fight today, and my opponent got injured I was told on like Tuesday that my debut wasn't happening. So I'm still waiting for a fight. It's hard. There's not a lot of girls, especially in my weight bracket. I'm fighting at 115. Most girls are about 125, 145. So it's hard. But I recommend any girl who is afraid of being put in a bad situation to learn how to fight and to protect yourself. It's important. You don't know what you're going to get into. I'm not an athlete that really looks up to many people that are on TV, those professions I used to, but I look up to my teammates. I look up to my coaches. They have done extraordinary things. They have to miss time with family to come train with us, to coach us. They have to miss weekends with them, to go with us on tournaments, and when we fight, they do a lot of stuff, and people don't realize that. People always look and say, well, your coach didn't make it to this fight. Our coaches have families. Our coaches have other obligations. They're not just full-time coaches. They don't get paid to just coach us. They're lucky if they even get paid to coach us because they're putting their time in to help us. They want us to be the best people we can be, and they want to better us, and they want us to go after our dreams. So if your coaches can't make it to your fights, don't be angry at them. You have teammates that are there that can support you.
Okay, what got me into fighting, how I started training? Honestly, I was real good in school. I was always a smart kid. Come after I graduated high school, started hanging out with the wrong crowd, turned into a troubled kid. Long story short, I got into a lot of fights in the streets. I got a good background in wrestling, but I got a good background in sprawl and brawl in the streets. So, I got a phone call one day. I was actually locked up in Blair County. This was a few years back when I was 18. I'm 24 now. But I got a call from Eric Frick saying, hey, bro, you like to fight, how do you want to make a career out of it? I'm like, nah, no way, that's, at that point in time, I watched Pride as a big Pride fan rather than UFC. But I was just like, no way, I didn't know anyway how to get into it. And he was my in. I started fighting for Team Friction, started training with him. I trained 8 days, turned around, fought Scott Weibel for my first fight, and that was a pretty wild fight. And I tell you what, since I've been cage fighting now, it's going on 5 years now. I'm pretty sure that I've been cage fighting. And since I've been doing it, I don't really have conflict on the street anymore. So it's definitely helped me to progress, to not be a troubled person anymore. What I'm trying to accomplish, I mean, I guess everybody's in this. They want to make it the Big Show fame. You know, like I said, growing up, I was more into Pride than UFC. Don't get me wrong, UFC is a great venue. It just, I feel like Pride just takes it back to the streets, and I feel comfortable there. Anyway, my goal with this, after Complete Devastation, it's a great venue here because it's local, it's home. The way I look at it, like I've had some bigger promotions, you know, like CFFC, XFE, couple of Gladiators of the Cage and stuff, which I'm looking to actually probably jump on board with them here, commit with them a good bit. But, you know, a lot of these bigger promotions, they're looking for me to jump on, but I look at it like this. I mean, fighting on a big promotion, is it good? Yes. But I'm the kind of person, like, I like to put on a show for people, whereas, you know, I like to keep a crowd entertained, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm building such a good fan base. So in order to get a good crowd, you need to first find where the crowd's at. Now, I got a strong crowd based in Altoona, and I got a decent crowd growing out in Pittsburgh. Now, Philadelphia and Jersey and stuff like that so much, I'm sure if I get down there and start fighting, yes, I'll build a crowd. But, I mean, I'm talking like 100, 200, 250, 300 people just in Altoona area and Pittsburgh that, you know, will come sit here and support me, which I think is a decent fan base. So, I mean, as an amateur, I ventured out. I traveled to a couple different states to fight. As a pro, I fought out in Arizona, West Virginia, and I've been in Pennsylvania mostly. But I'm at that point right now, like, when I get out in that cage, I like to step out in front of a couple hundred people. I like to have a strong backing. That's one of the things that drives me. And that's that. I mean, you know, down the road after this fight with Complete Devastation, this title fight, you know, I'm looking to jump on with Gladiators of the Cage here in December. If all goes well here, I'm looking to venture out for 2014 to down to Texas. I'm going to try to jump on with Legacy Fighting Championship if they can get a spot open for me and I win these next two fights. So, I mean, I'm at that point now where I got a strong fan base. It's time to spread out a little bit. But, I mean, if you ask me what the next step is, if I got a call tomorrow for the UFC by Dana White for a fill-in, would I take it at this point? No. I mean, I look at people in the Big Show now. You go to the UFC, as long as you keep winning, yes, you're good, you'll stay in there. But I look at people, there's always what if. In the fight game, you're only one punch away from anything. Win, lose, draw, you know, knockout, submit. But I look at it like this. If you're on a losing streak in the UFC, you're not going to stay there. You're going to get cut. But if you can sit there and build such a fan base, you know, and it just happens, you know, let's say I may get to the UFC and I manage to stay there till I'm 32, 33 years old. You know, I go for like a good 5-6 year run. Well, come when I'm 33 and I don't want to move anymore and I'm on a losing streak, like a 4-fight losing streak, I think, you know, someone like Dana White would keep me around just because I'm sitting there I'm showing a lot of support, not only for my fan base, but for the UFC as well. So, I mean, to answer your question, my next step here is I'm going to I'm going to venture out to Pittsburgh and I'm going to continue to build in Pittsburgh for a fan base because it's a little bit bigger city than Altoona. And I'm thinking my next step after that to start building, since I'm in cahoots with Kaizen MMA out of Fairfax, I think my next place I'm going to start building is either in Fairfax, Virginia, or Richmond, Rumble Richmond, or Operation Octagon or Warriors Challenge. So, but I think Complete Devastation going to the Jaffa, not only, I think they're going to double their ticket sales, double their fan base, and you know, I don't know if you guys are looking to go start TV with this at all, but even a Jaffa venue starting off with TV. Look, I mean, look at it's now World Wrestling Entertainment, but look at the WWF back in the day. They used to come to Jaffa all the time, you know, and that was on TV years ago. So I mean, it's a great venue. It has its credentials. The Shriners do a good job with that place. And I think it's going to be a big benefit for Complete Devastation. Hey guys, Showtime Schoenfeld here. Hit me up on Facebook, Showtime MMA. Come out and support November 16th. We got great cage fights going on. Once again, Altoona, PA. Complete Devastation 9, right? 9? Yeah. Complete Devastation 9. Keith Miner versus Brett Showtime Schoenfeld. We got other people in the card. Once again, you'll get to see the Madman and Charlie Gathers. I'm excited for that fight, by the way. But anyway, I'm out. I'll see you guys there.
I'm a very competitive person, so I wanted to stay in shape and be in shape, and I worked with my coach's brother, and I was telling him that I wanted to get into wrestling and back into wrestling and stuff like that for the old guys, because I'm 35 now. I started when I was just turned 34, so it was kind of like a long shot of being in the cage. I just wanted to go and do the old guy wrestling tournaments and stuff like that. And he said that Dignan's was up in Glitzen there, so I went up there for a practice. And like everybody says, you fall in love with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So you don't just go and kind of like it. You either hate it because you can't take getting beat on and choked out and stuff, or you absolutely love it. And for us that love it, we know that we love choking people out. We love doing, and the same getting, done for us. So I fell in love with that, and then that's when the cage fighting started in this area pretty big. And I was like, I want to fight in the cage. And they were like, how old are you? I'm like 34. They're like, oh, geez. So I was like, well, put me in there once. And I asked my girlfriend Kim, because like people don't understand that we don't just buy fancy shorts and get in the cage and swing punches. We sacrifice a lot, and time away from our families, and we try to balance it out. And without the support of your family, you're really not going to be in the cage much. So, I sacrifice birthdays as an amateur, time away from home a lot. Like, I'll get out of work, I'll go home, pack my stuff, see the kids to like 4 o'clock, and then I leave, and by the time I get back, they're in bed already. So like fight time, like right now, training 3, maybe get a 4th day in there on Thursday, and see the kids and the family like 2 days a week. So we don't just get in there and swing punches for the fans. We got to train and train our asses off. So, you get into it, and you know that it's going to take time. And the deal was I was going to do one fight just to see if I could do it. But I lost. And anyone that knows me knows that losing really isn't much of a pleasant feeling for me. And I couldn't go out on a losing note. So I decided to go pro after my fight with Jimmy Serra. We were supposed to fight in Pennsylvania, but he lost a fight to Davy Crockett, and Serb canceled our fight. So I was pissed because Serra was saying stuff like he didn't even need a whole training camp to fight me and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to fight him whether Serb likes it or not. So I called a promoter I know up in Ohio, and he's like, well, my next date is so-and-so, and it just happened to be 7 days after my Complete Devastation title defense. And at the time, I was all hot under the collar, and I'm like, you know what? F it. I was like, I'm fighting. I'll fight 2 times in 1 week because it's not in Pennsylvania, so they're not going to really, didn't think they really looked at that kind of stuff. So luckily my fight with my title defense for complete devastation was only 38 seconds. And I went up there unscathed to fight Jimmy Serra. But I decided to go pro after we drove the whole way up there. I had, as an amateur, you're not getting paid. So I had to use my electric bill money for gas and stuff like that to make the 2.5, 3 hour road trip to Ohio and back. So we drove that up there. I was co-main event. I didn't even step into the cage till like 9:30 at night, and that was that fight lasted under a minute. Also, it was a knockout. I think it was 50 some seconds or something. So I was up there all day long and spent 50 seconds in the cage, and then had to turn around and drive home, and didn't get home till like 2 a.m. And then I was 2 months behind on my bills, and I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. Whether I was ready or not, I don't really have that luxury of money flowing out of my pockets. So I was like, I'm going to be doing this. I just spent like $100 and some to fight for somebody else for free. So we decided to go pro at 6-1. I got 4 kids. We got Riley is the oldest at 11. Alexis is going to be turning 9 the next month. My son Leighton will be turning, or not next month, sorry, the end of this month. My son Leighton will be turning 6 at the end of this month also. And I just had a son, Liam, and he's 2. He's a Christmas baby. So, yeah, they're pretty much the reason I fight. You got to get the way the economy is now. It's not all about money fighting, but it sure as hell helps a lot. I'm just gonna fight till my wheels fall off, to tell you the truth. I'm not, like I've said in different interviews, I'm not living a pipe dream. I'm 35. I like to fight. I like to be competitive. If it really wasn't for MMA, I'd probably still be getting arrested because I am who I am, and whether we're in the cage or, out having drinks, I'm gonna punch you in the face. It's like that's just the way I am. It's the way I'm wired. I got the Irish temper. So I've been down that road, getting in fights and stuff like that, and that's one reason why mixed martial arts and fighting in the cage really kind of evened all that stuff out. So, I'm just going to fight until it's time to give it up.